Hi guys, I just wanted to officially welcome everybody to my Clean Eating 101 course. My name, for those of you that don't know me, is Jessica Klanick. I am a wife, I'm a mom of 3 active children, and I am a registered nurse by trade. I worked 15 years in a traditional healthcare setting, in a hospital, in doctor's offices, mostly in the hospital, in intensive care, at a large hospital. We saw patients from all over the world. Big teaching hospital. So I got to see a lot of bad stuff, and I noticed about 5-6 years ago a dramatic increase in the amount of chronic illnesses and cancers and autoimmune diseases that I was seeing in my patient population. And you know, being a nurse is like a blessing and a curse, because you kind of, it's great that I get to be a part of people's lives and help them get over this, acute illness or this critical, period in their lives, and, be a part of their life in the very vulnerable part. However, it's hard to not take that stuff home and not try to figure things out and what's going on. How do I keep my family from ever being in the hospital? I often ask myself that, and I especially started asking myself that when I noticed this. I was putting things together, and I said, why are these younger and younger people, babies and children and young adults and teenagers, getting these chronic diseases that old people get? It's not right. Something's going on in our environment, in our bodies. What is the deal? So I got really crazy into researching that, and it was for selfish reasons. I will admit, it was to keep my family from coming down with these same things. I mean, I couldn't figure it out, and it just seemed like we just were taking care of the patients, but not getting to the root and trying to get to why this was happening in such huge numbers. Okay, and it doesn't take being a nurse to know this is going on. You could see around you, everywhere you go, we have sicker and sicker children. Obesity is on the rise. Heart disease, cancer. Cancer is the #1 cause of death now for our children, and that was disturbing to me. That why is our immune systems under attack? Why are they all these autoimmune diseases? So that's why I started researching and started trying to figure out if our bodies, our immune systems are designed to fight the bad stuff. They're supposed to fight, to keep off, ward off the illnesses, disease, germs, whatever you want to call it. Why are they acting all crazy now? Why are they going haywire? And I realize it's because we are so inundated. We're in toxic overload. It's coming at us in so many directions. It's hard to avoid. So I realize, though, that our environment's toxic, our food's toxic, our medications are toxic. Some of these things are used for a good purpose. However, they have terrible side effects, and they have other ingredients that don't belong in there and don't belong in your body. Things we put on our skin, our face, our bodies, are all bringing in toxins. Our air, just everything around us is so toxic, right? So we can't do a lot about all those things, but we can control what we can control. And I realized soon that I can control what I put in my family's bodies, what we allowed to come into us through food and medications and things like that. So I simply started cutting back on processed foods, and realized we were getting healthier. Like I said, I was a nurse. I always got sick. I worked night shift, and I was tired and drained and irritable, and my immune system was down because of lack of sleep, had young kids and no sleep on top of working night shift. So really, I'd stay up for 24 hours at a time. Our bodies were designed to sleep at night, so that was stressful on my body, and I would get sick a lot. When I started eating healthier, even though I was still working night shift, I didn't get sick as much. And then my kids, who, like I said, are active kids, they're around, they're in sports, they're in activities, and they stopped getting sick. So I often share all these things on social media. So if that's how you found me, it is really me. That's how I am in real life. I am really passionate about health and healing and using nutrition the best that we can and controlling the amount of toxic exposure that we have. So this group is just designed, though, this is a basic class. People ask me a lot to do something like this, so I finally decided to do it. I'm sorry, it's been a while, but just putting it together. I know what I have in my head, but it's hard to get it together. So this is going to be simple. It's just going to be 7 days of clean eating, and clean eating is so subjective. It shouldn't be, but it is. There's so much information out there on the internet, anywhere. If you talk to nutritionists, dietitians, whatever, everybody has a little bit a different take on clean eating. This is my take, and basically I define it as eating whole foods, eating foods that are in their most natural state. That is what we're going to do the best at consuming, okay? Nature, God knew what he was doing when he put us here, and there's food here created just for our bodies. So we're going to eat that food. That means lots of fruits and lots of vegetables, especially green vegetables. Local is great, and organic is great too. If you can't find that, there are lists out there. I put someone in our group about which fruits and vegetables you should absolutely buy organic, so that you could save a little bit of money on the ones that are okay to buy non-organic. For instance, anything with a peel is okay to buy non-organic, like bananas, avocados, things like that. Dairy products, milk, yogurt, eggs, cheese. I know some people can't do dairy, and that's okay. I don't do a lot of dairy. It's very infrequent, but when I do, we happen to be within an hour of a local farm that I can get milk that I trust. Where I know what the cow is eating. Okay, so I'm a big fan of that. There are some things out there they're feeding our animals now that means we're eating it too. So my kids want to walk by. That means, like I said, if you don't have a local farmer, then organic milk is best. Full fat, no fat free, no skim milk, no low fat milk, yogurts, none of that. Research now shows what most people that already were into a whole foods lifestyle knew, that whole low fat, no fat craze is actually did a lot of harm to our health, and as a society. As fat increased, so did obesity, and so did all these medical problems. Could they be related? Maybe. It definitely didn't help our health. So when you take out the fat that was already in there, that belongs there, they would just add sugar and other chemicals that have no business being in our bodies. So that's why whole foods, okay? Grains are another iffy. If you do grains, a lot of people have gluten intolerance nowadays. Our grains are just not processed like they used to be processed hundreds of years ago, okay? They're just overly processed and refined down to nothing, and our bodies can't digest it, and we have issues because of that. So when you do grains, you'll see 100% whole grain products, okay? If you're doing them, I did include a couple of them on there that I will do at times. So that would be like quinoa and oats, okay? Meats similar to dairy need to be humanely raised, and again, if you have a local farmer, awesome. If not, organic is best. Our meat nowadays is similar to dairy. It's just I just read research here that 70% of the antibiotic use in America is actually given to our animals, so cows and pigs and things that we eat are actually pumped with a lot of antibiotics. So we won't get into all of that. That would be Clean Eating 201, where I would go into why that all happens. But antibiotic free, hormone free. We don't need any extra hormones. We got enough. All right. Seafood. You want wild caught, preferably over farm raised. Okay. And then natural sweeteners. Honey, raw honey, local is best. But raw honey and pure maple syrup. Okay, so beverages for this 7 days and hopefully on from there. Water, and more water is awesome. There are ways to flavor it if you're not a huge fan of drinking plain water. My biggest tip for water, you want to drink at least half your body weight in ounces of water. For instance, if you weigh 200 pounds, you want to drink 100 ounces of water per day. Not per week, per day. If you're saying to yourself, I don't even drink 100 ounces of water per week, then my suggestion for you is to start your morning first thing in the morning and just down a big glass of it. I like to drink like 20 ounces right first thing in the morning, 16 to 20 ounces, just to get it going, get body moving, flush all the toxins out, and I'm on my way to getting my metabolism going and being hydrated for the day. So that's that. You can drink herbal tea, any herbal non-caffeinated tea. You want to make sure you're reading the ingredient labels, and there should not be any oils, no soy. Why soy is in our tea is beyond me, but it should not be. It should be, herbal tea should just have the herbs that are in them. But for some reason, some of them add soy, so you don't want those. If you are a coffee drinker, that's okay, that's fine. However, I want you to pay attention this week. I don't want you drinking 6 cups or a pot of coffee. One, if you were, a big, huge coffee drinker and you're going to really struggle not having it, 1 or 2 cups a day. But try to replace it with your herbal tea. You can drink black tea too. It has some caffeine, but that's okay. It's not necessarily, the caffeine isn't killing you. Unless you are addicted to it and you need it. Your body can't function without it. You can't get up, you can't get going, you can't stay awake in the afternoon. Then there's other issues, and we need to, figure out. It's most likely diet related, but it could be anything. But you should not have that addiction to the caffeine or to pop. There is no pop, no soda, no whatever you call it. None of that's going on this week, okay? Especially diet. So like I said, coffee. With coffee though, you want to make it at home. You're going to save a lot of money, number 1. Number 2, none of that extra sugar and all that going in it. You can add a little honey to it if you need to, sweeten it. Spices are fun to spice up your coffee. Cinnamon, vanilla extract, things like that. That's fun. Okay, we're getting creative this week. Okay, guys, we're going to learn some new things. And then, like I said, tea's good. Juice. Right now, we're going to stay away from juices. Store-bought juices, especially, just have other things added to them that don't belong in there. If you want to freshly squeeze some oranges for yourself, that's totally perfect. You can do that. But that's the gist of it. If you have any questions, like I said, like post below, post every day in the group. I expect to see you every day checking in, and like I mentioned on day 1, if you are not checking in every day, posting your pictures, what are you eating, things like that, I will be kicking you out. Not because I don't love you, but because I'm here to, coach you and give you that little push you need. And if you're not going to show up for yourself, then I'm not going to show up either, okay? So, and just, that's fine. If it's maybe I will do this again. So if this is not a good time for you, then you can bow out gracefully now, but I will be holding you guys to it. You committed for a week, and I expect you to be in there every week, for the week, every day, checking in, okay? So, like I said, post anything you have below this video, and I will get your questions answered, and hopefully we'll go from there, okay? Good luck, guys.